Hello, friends. Welcome into the PHNX Bets Daily podcast, presented to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star wherever you get your podcast. I'm Johnny Venable on this fine Tuesday, joined by Shawn DePaz, live at the PHNX headquarters in downtown Phoenix. Shawnee, no NBA tonight, but I did want to talk off the top about the situation as it relates to Cam Johnson and his injury. Now it's being reported he's going to be out 1 to 2 months. Everything I'm hearing is going to lean closer to 2 months. I don't think they have any interest in rushing him back, but how does this change the dynamic of the Phoenix Suns over the course of the rest of this year into next year?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think it changes a little bit of the Cam Johnson contract talk because this man cannot stay healthy for the life of him. So I'm curious how it impacts that. And then obviously that has far-reaching impacts on the rest of the team. On paper, though, like if he's still getting a contract, I don't think it changes very much. Like, I mean, last year was a prime example that the regular season doesn't really mean much. It's about what you do in the postseason. I don't think this injury is going to keep the Suns out of the playoffs by any means. So I'm not really that worried about it. I'm more worried about kind of what it indicates about Cam Johnson's ability to stay healthy. But otherwise, I'm not really concerned about how it's going to affect the Suns. I think they'll be completely fine.
So 2 things on DraftKings. So you can't get their over-under right now on how many games they're going to win, but I did do some digging. They are still on DraftKings right now, plus 600, which are the best odds in the Western Conference, despite losses in 2 of 3 to be the number 1 seed in the West, which I think is pretty shocking given, the Golden State Warriors, it doesn't really matter what seed they're going to end up being. They're plus 2,500 to have the best record in the NBA. But for the Suns to be third only behind the Bucks, who did lose last night without Giannis, and the Celtics, I think that speaks to Vegas's confidence in the depth of this team. Now, I would only be a little bit concerned. I mean, there's no Jay Crowder, right? I think Chris Paul, you would ideally like him to play less and less, as you get closer to postseason play. You don't want to lean on him too much. And now you lose Cam Johnson. It seems like some other players are going to have to emerge, continue to step up. Maybe, the inevitable trade scenario, you bring in additional help. But I would just be worried. We get to February, March, like, is this team out of gas? Because for me, it felt like they ran out of gas against, the Mavericks last year in the second round.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of the matter is that Chris Paul is just an old man, and he's not getting any younger. And that part is definitely concerning. I definitely think they're going to, especially if Cam Johnson keeps on getting hurt, they're going to have to address the depth a little bit. They're going to have to do something at the trade deadline. So that'll ultimately, I think, impact how I feel about this team come the playoffs. But as of right now, I'm not going to say I don't have any worries about the Suns. I definitely do, but it doesn't have anything to do really with this injury. It is more about what we saw in the playoffs last year and whether or not they can prevent that from happening again. But I don't think Cam being hurt right now, as long as it is just that 1 to 2 months, really impacts that very much.
I agree. And I still think at the end of the day, this is a team that's going to have 55 plus wins and be in the mix for the number 1 seed. What they do from there is up to them. We did not do well last night with Monday Night Football. Shano and I went 1 for 2 on our straight picks. We did pick the Baltimore Ravens to win outright and cover the spread, which they did. Felt like free money, Lamar Jackson versus Andy Dalton in prime time. But the over did not hit. I think it was roughly around 40 points, 27-13. So Shane and I very rarely are on the same page, but we were yesterday. Let's take a look at our props if we have them. So I had a couple things. I should have put money down. It felt like Isaiah Likely anytime touchdown was free money on DraftKings. I did not take that. He and Kenyon Drake had a big night. Here's what I did take, though. I went with an anytime touchdown for the Ravens defense. They got close a couple of times. They had an interception. They had a fumble recovery. Roquan Smith, Justin Houston were all over the place. Dalton loves to throw pick sixes. It just did not happen. Did not come to fruition last night. So hopefully folks out there put money on Kenyon Drake to have a big night. He did. Where do you think this Ravens team stands in the hierarchy of the AFC? Can they contend with your precious Buffalo Bills as we await what's going on with Josh Allen's arm? Are they in Kansas City's, ballpark? What do you think?
No, not on paper. I mean, the Ravens, I think, are capable of beating any team in the AFC if they play their best football. I think you saw that in that Bills game that they had earlier in the season. Like they controlled the first half of that game. They're clearly a good team. I just think that if everyone's healthy and everything is going everyone's way, like the Bills and the Chiefs are still on a completely different level. I just don't think there is the talent around Lamar in that offense for them to be as good as the Bills or the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I love Lamar. I think he's an amazing quarterback, but he's not Patrick Mahomes, a guy that has the ability to turn a bunch of non-ones essentially into a Super Bowl team. So I think they're probably around that third spot in the AFC. I think they're the best team in that division. Obviously, we have to see what happens when the Browns get their starting quarterback back, or get him and sentence, I guess. But otherwise, I'm not really concerned. I'm not really concerned with anybody in the AFC South. I'm not concerned with any of the AFC West is kind of lame outside, or is lame outside of the Chiefs. Like
it's definitely not the division people thought it was going to be before the season. Broncos are a joke to some extent. The Raiders are definitely a joke. They're completely out of it. They might fire Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders are the joke. I think McDaniels is the joke for sure.
Well, yeah, I'm just like their operation right now is a joke until they get somebody else to run their operation. Shane said he went 2 for 2 on his props. So producer Emma tells me that we have them. Let's check it out. Lamar over 60 rushing yards. That hit pretty comfortably, 82. And then Justin Tucker obviously made his over on field goals. So congratulations, Shane. I gave you credit. Said you did fine on your props. I just didn't have them in front of me. But my props did not do so well. But Isaiah Likely, very likely to contribute to your bank account on DraftKings. Speaking of DraftKings, new customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet. Get $200 back if your team wins. You can also boost your winnings up to 100% with DraftKings step-up same-game parlays. Monday, Sunday, Thursday, Saturday. It's simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Shawnee, see those show notes for details. All right, little MACtion tonight, little men's college hoops. What do you like?
I like a few things. First,
NHL as well.
Yeah, so I didn't include the NHL, but free pick for the people. The Arizona Coyotes play at the Buffalo Sabres today. Sabres money line. I think it's like minus 220. I'm about to put $50 on that. The Sabres are absolute wagon. The Yotes are not. They just won a game that they weren't supposed to against the Capitals, and now they're on game 2 of a 14-game road trip. I think the Sabres win this game easily. So I'm sprinting to the DraftKings Sportsbook to put money on the money line after this. But as far as college basketball is concerned, Johnny, I don't know if you know this, but it's currently 11:44 Arizona time, and Georgetown still sucks. I hate Georgetown with every fiber of my being. They are Syracuse's biggest rival, but I'm still taking them minus 18.5. They're playing Coppin State, I believe, a team that, even though Georgetown was terrible last year, went winless in the Big East. Georgetown still beat them by like 30 points last year. So I don't think that changes this year. This is one of those games where this is not, I can't say Power 5, but as far as the Big East concerned, like, it is a legacy program in Georgetown. They're one of the great college basketball programs. That they win this game easily. And then Milwaukee at Purdue. Purdue's a way better team, but similar to what we saw last night with ASU and Tarleton State, Milwaukee is one of the best interior defensive teams in the country. So I think that game stays low. I think Purdue probably wins this game easily, but it's probably like a 70-something to 50-something game. So I think the under hits there. And then I'm fading you and Shane on this because I know Shane's a big Toledo guy. Ball State plus 11. I was not born, but I was raised in MAC country. I was raised by MACtion. Ball State. What's that? What?
No, I was laughing at the.
Oh yeah, but I was raised by the MACtion. But Ball State has a very good running back, one of the best running backs in that conference, averaging a little over 100 yards per game, I believe. Toledo has a very bad rush defense by MAC standards. They allow about 150 rush yards a game. Toledo is the better team and probably wins this game, but their last few games have been relatively close. And Ball State has been playing very good. They're 3-1 against the spread, I think, and Toledo failed to cover in their last 2, so I think Ball State keeps it close, just kind of the nature of MACtion as well, so I like them plus 11.
Maybe that early win against Toledo by San Diego State is what's helping them punch their ticket to the Pac-12, because that's the only rationale I can think of. But listen, I like your picks. I like mine more. Show them if we've got them. Toledo minus 11. I think they break out of their slump. Back-to-back subpar offensive performances against Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. they get back to their scoring ways. They put up 52 against both Northern Illinois and Kent State. I think it's going to be a big day for them. And I think Miami of Ohio as a 2-point underdog wins outright, so get plus money there. And then how about a little college hoops action? Everything that I've seen from the start of men's college basketball, Sean, huge favorites are covering and then some. People are teasing lines up to 30, 35, 40 points, which is insane. So I'm not ready to go that far where I'm going to tease it, but I do think Purdue is a runaway victory over a now Power 5 school, minus 26 points. And then we've got some games later this week. Indiana, Texas, they're big favorites on Thursday. Go ahead and pound the over and the points for those teams as well. So college basketball, we're dipping our toe in right now, right? We're not quite jumping into the pool. We've still got the NFL. College football is coming down to the wire. Conference championships are right around the corner. A lot of people would think, even without Major League Baseball, it's the best time to gamble. Of course, you can gamble on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Producer Emma, did we have Shane's pick? Did he submit picks for today? I heard that correctly?
No, it was his college basketball picks from yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck. Good luck to you, Shane. Good luck to you, Sean. We're every day here at PHNX Bets Daily live at noon. Myself, Sean DePaz, Shane Diefenbach, Shane Diefenlock. We're back tomorrow, the special Wednesday edition of PHNX Bets, as we're going to talk about all things college football. We're going to dive back into the NBA. Phoenix Suns, I think general consensus is they're going to be fine, got to overcome this adversity, and they get up for regular season games. Unlike a lot of teams, you see a lot of teams, whether it be the Brooklyn Nets, the Los Angeles Lakers, who can't buy a win. You buy a ticket to watch the Suns. Stars are going to play, and they're going to send you home most of the time with a dub. We're sending you home with dubs via DraftKings, making you money on the reg. For Sean DePaz, I'm Johnny Venerable. We're back tomorrow. Peace.